Welcome to the morning news on CAM1 Radio, ladies and gentlemen. We have an overcast weather today in the city of Limbe. On our top stories today, the International Day of Sexual Violence is being observed today, Wednesday, June 19th. Also, one of our stories today, Barrister CAM1 receives a heroic welcome in the city of Limbe as he hinted the populace of a possible political coalition ahead of the 2025 elections. Insecurity continues to plague the country following the discovery of another body in the Pangun district of Kribi in the Ocean Division, an incident which has sparked fear in the minds of the inhabitants of Pangu. Also, a road accident has also claimed the life of the Assistant Divisional Officer of Metet Subdivision, Judith Ngo Baleba, is reported to have died on the spot with her husband, Alain Michael Buyukak, on the Balmayo Sangmarima Stretch of Road. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our top stories today on the CAM1 Radio. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for staying tuned with us on this particular network. I repeat, the frequency is 99.5 FM. We begin this newscast today with Barrister CAM1, who has hinted the possibility of a political coalition ahead of the 2025 elections. He spoke to our senior reporter, Ngole Sylvain, who compiled the following report.
Barrister CAM1 on Monday, June 17, 2024 in Limbe was received by the population as they came out in their numbers, singing and dancing, in order to give a warm reception to their august guest.
The country, they go through some very strategic moments. They go through some very difficult moments, particularly with people. Because I want to talk about Cameroon. I don't want to talk about the way she don't be here today. You never lost probably a brother, you never lost your mommy, you never lost your cousin, you never go prison, or you never get a family member where they go prison because of freedom. And for do and for be engaged for the process, the political process of Cameroon. We know we should also no one do nothing for Cameroon. But every day, for the problem, the way we talk every day for themselves. Now why that? As long as I believe we will push the interest of our people to the forefront.
His visit in Limbe was to make the population know him as they assured him for their loyalty and support.
Today, I only just hear my name and all that kind of stuff. So I want to say from today, when we begin converse, we want to know who are they, what they have to do, what they have to do, what they are not going to do. I know they come here for making any kind of promise. I only come to tell when I say, for this position, we do for country today, think on bad. I want to go for any country where they travel around the world. I look only three things. If you have to write down for Bible, who are the Christian, even Muslim, they know three things. Say, God begin teach, He begin heal, and He became judge. Three things. I translate them all here. So we go for some country. If education system not the work fine, if hospital not the work fine, if justice not the work fine, this is the country don't finish. So the three things are never for the country, and we don't fall that test 3 times. The poor way there for Rome, they don't say, if you want to see how some country they work, you get to find out how that country will treat the poorest people. If we treat them well, then the country will go before.
Barrister CAM1 also called on the population to massively register on the voters register before the closure in August.
Biodiversity, afforestation, and the preservation of natural resources is on the top agenda of administrators in Limbe following a meeting held at the SDO's office. The meeting comprised of all mayors, chiefs, and other dignitaries geared towards the preservation of the Bimbia Dikombo community forest. Ngole Sylvain again with details.
A meeting was held Tuesday, June 18, 2024 at the office of the Senior Divisional Officer for FACO in the presence of the SDO for FACO, the representative of the City Mayor to the Limbe City Council, GO for Limbe 1 and 3 subdivisions, Mayor for Limbe 1 and Limbe 3 municipalities, some chiefs in FACO, the Divisional Delegate for Forestry and Wildlife FACO, amongst others. The meeting was to talk on the simple management plan for the community forest in the name of the Bimbia Bonadikombo Community Forest.
By the Senior Divisional Officer to attend the signing of the simple management plan which has been devised. And upon arrival on this meeting, we realized that it was a working section. And the SDO introduced certain issues which he has received calls and many complaints within the community forest. And to my notice, I realized as the executive board chairman that there is a lot of intruders and some created villages which has been created within the Bimbia Bonadikombo community forest. Now, upon findings and facts during this meeting, it is clearly that some administrative act has homologated some 6 persons as traditional rulers. But now, the key of the question is, where are these villages existing? Is this village existing within the community forest or out of the community forest? In resolution, we agreed and we proposed for the community forest to be demarcated, and whatever villages that was created by the state with an act of homologation, the Senior Divisional Officer, we also know where these people can be placed, because we believe that there is no village without land. And if they were homologated, automatically the state has land for them to settle on. And so I'm thinking on the end of the meeting, the simple management plan was not signed. But the simple management plan which was revived, which has not been signed, does not stop the existence of the community forest. The community forest has been existing since 2002, where we had the agreement with the state. The community forest was created. The simple management plan is just for the purpose of implementation of activities which are to be carried out within the community forest. Thank you.
The problem is the situation conflict of land in the village, and the Senior Divisional Officer FACO just want to solve the problem, because some villages are complaining that they were supposed to benefit from the fruit from that Bimbia Bonadikombo forest. So others are that, but the problem is that we have already signed the convention since when the community forest has been created. They were not there, and we have already write the simple management plan. And they did also the revision of the simple management plan, and the convention revision has been already signed. Yes, so today they only wanted to sign the revision. Only the simple management plan revised. So we created. And we said that they will do another revised plan after 3 years, I hope. It remains 3 years, but they will do it's after 3. A new revision, and add them there if necessary after our all investigation. Guys, our people, no sign is not means that the community forest is not existing. It's existing. That's all.
Hate speech continues to be a problem in most societies. It is for this reason why June 18th has been dedicated worldwide to address hate speech and preaching preaching against the ills of this phenomenon is of dire importance. Ngola Sylvain again with details on this report.
June 18th is being observed as the International Day for countries with hate speech. The phenomenon is reportedly rise around the globe. However, the government, individuals, have seen the need to put an end to hate speech, especially in countries where the socio-political climate is fragile.
Live with people of diverse upbringings, different religious backgrounds, and all of that. It's not easy, but I do my best not to use those utterances because most often it's the things you say to people because of the region they come from, tribe, religion, social class. I make intentional efforts not using those kind of words.
I avoid it. I believe in humanity and uphold human values. I am a completely detribalized person. I do so with recourse to their humanity and social values. I denounce the spewing of this negative energy of Northwest, Southwest, Francophone, Anglophone.
Choose people that you stay with in your neighborhood. Something can come up, like we had an incident recently, we needed to contribute, and so one of the people complained and she used that slang, say this Bamenda people there. So I just told her that we are all human beings. We have different potentials. We have different experiences in life. Practice living in peace with people, showing some degree of tolerance.
I teach young people to see the humanity of the human being in each and every Cameroonian, in each and every person, as opposed to ethnicity, regionalism, and religion.
Sublime reporting there from Ngola Sylvain. Now, the 34th edition of the Day of the African Child was commemorated under the theme, Education for All Children in Africa. The time is now. Our reporter, Ngola Sylvain.
The 34th edition of the Day of the African Child was commemorated in Cameroon on June 16, 2024 under the theme Education for All Children in Africa. The time is now.
It was on the 16th of June 1972. Some more than 650 children were massacred by the apartheid regime in South Africa, because they were protesting against poor education. And so the African Union, the OAU, Organization of African Union, now African Union, they had to sit and decided that this day should be commemorated every year. So Cameroon started the celebrations in 1991, and we are on the 34th edition this 2024.
This year's theme is in line with that of the African Union of the current year, and which reads as follows: Educating an African fit for the 21st century. The education for all aspects is essential as Article 11, Paragraph 1 of the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child stipulates that every child has the right to education. Education is a right for all children in Africa, regardless of where they live, race, parental status, disability, gender, or any other status.
Our objective for the celebration this day is for the children of Fako to join their counterparts the nation over to sensitize, mobilize stakeholders, the community, all social actors, to implicate them, to support them, and especially on the team, to know that education, every child has to go to school, every child has to be educated, and the time is now. And the 34th edition falls after, is 10 years after the theme of 2014, which was free education for all. So it's a moment for people to take stock of what has been done, what is still left to be done. And we realize that a lot has been done in our country by our authorities. Inclusive education, they have opened more schools, free education, they have cancelled that school fees in schools, and so there are more children now who are going to school.
Meanwhile, in Fako Division, the celebration took place at the Limbe Council Hall, Down Beach, in the presence of the representative of the Senior Divisional Officer for Fako, the Divisional Delegate to Social Affairs Fako, representative of the DO of Limbe 1 Subdivision, amongst others.
Who innocently had these colors are repainting their cars to avoid being victims. This is happening because the supposed Ambazonia Governing Council said they had banned taxis using the yellow color. We stress on the International Day of Sexual Violence, which is being observed today, Wednesday, June 19th. This year's International Day for the Elimination of Sexual Violence in Conflict focuses on health care. In the southwest region, for instance, sexual violence has become a dreadful affair in the past years within the context of the protracting socio-political crisis. Most of these cases go unreported. It is for this reason that the United Nations Secretary General has sensitized persons and people to talk out and speak out concerning this particular phenomenon. We talk sports in this edition of the news to say, aiming to qualify for the 2024 Olympics, the Indomitable Lions basketball team has arrived in Riga, that's in Latvia, to try to secure a spot at the 2024 Paris Olympics. The training camp began on June 17th with a team meeting chaired by head coach Alfred Aboya. Meantime, the athletes from the North region of Cameroon have returned home after competing in the FENASCO League B national finals. The North region finished 6th overall with 16 medals, including 4 gold, 4 silver, and 8 bronze. They came ahead of the South, Littoral, Southwest, and Northwest regions, which were ranked 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, respectively. In the city of Limbe, the finals of the Limbe traditional wrestling competition, also known in local parlance as Zombie, was a come-and-see event at the Limbola Community Field. Gordon Sylvain completes the story for us.
Finals of the Limbe Traditional Wrestling Zone B took place on Sunday, June 16, 2024 at the Limbola Community Field in the presence of some chiefs in Fako Division alongside the City Mayor, the Limbe City Council, amongst others.
When we see children 2 years, 3 years, 5 years fighting,
gives us very much hope that even if we are not there today, we are sure that this country will very soon
The population came out in their numbers to witness the traditional wrestling, which unites the Bakure people together. The finals was made up of the junior, senior, male and female categories. It was characterized with the award of certificate of acknowledgement, medals, cash prizes, and some trophies.
Population that will not relent our effort. Being the champion of this traditional wrestling will not make us to sleep in our laurels. We have to redouble our efforts so that next year, by God's will, we shall equally come the winner of next year's competition.
Meanwhile, Mukunda village came out first, followed by Bobende village. It should be noted that the launching of this year's Limbe Traditional Wrestling Zone B took place some months back at the Bobende village, Limbe 2 subdivision.
On to one of our major league stories, a road accident which occurred early in the morning of the June 16th on the Balmayo-Sangmalima road in the Central region is reported to have claimed the lives of the Assistant Divisional Officer of Colmated Subdivision, Judith Ingo-Baleba, and her husband, a Customs Officer, Alain Michel Bakuyak. In the meantime, according to the World Food Programme, WFP, in its acronym, about 4 in every 10 Cameroonians are severely impoverished. The state of penury is not mainly because of the bad governance the country is noted for, given its persistent corruption and poor rankings. The incidence of poverty is, in the words of WFP, due to recurring climatic shocks, including floods and prolonged dry spells that limit people's ability to thrive. To mitigate the situation, the Cameroon government has a plan to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 32%, a third of the current level in relative terms. On to our international page, Thailand will become the first nation in Southeast Asia to legalize same-sex marriage after the kingdom's Senate approved a marriage equality bill. Meantime, a pair of fast-growing fires are tearing across a South New Mexico tribal reservation and converging on a village like a pair of tongues, prompting thousands of residents to evacuate. Two key congressional Democrats have given their approval to allow the Biden administration to proceed with what is believed to be the biggest weapons package for Israel, expected to be worth more than $18 billion and include some 50 F-15 fighting jets. Justin Timberlake is in police custody after he was arrested in New York for allegedly driving while intoxicated. Those are the reports coming in today from the United States of America. Meantime, Narges Mohammadi, Iran's most prominent human rights activist and the 2023 Nobel Peace Prize winner, has been sentenced to another year in Tehran's notorious Evin prison. Her lawyer said on Tuesday, jailed for most of the past 2 decades, Mohammadi was sentenced to a further stretch in prison by authorities who found her guilty of carrying out propaganda activities against the regime. Mustafa Nili, her lawyer, announced on the social media platforms. Russian President Vladimir Putin has landed in North Korea and is expected to meet with his leader Kim Jong-un in a sign of the two countries' deepening alignment and Moscow's need to source weapons from Pyongyang to sustain its war on Ukraine. The streets of Pyongyang were decked out with Russian flags and the posters of Putin ahead of his arrival in the early hours of Wednesday morning, his first visit to the country since 2000, and this week's visit is a rare overseas trip for Putin since he launched the invasion of Ukraine, who has not paid the death penalty in the case, and the U.S. Department of Justice announced in January of the U.S. citizens to apply for lawful permanent 1,000 children of immigrants.
So for Limbe we the ball, Atlantic Beach Hotel Complex, a luxury hotel that offers world-class services with restaurant and lounge facilities.